Even see what's available nearby. Your best shopping starts with Google.
Late night tales. Late night. It's really not that late though. It's only like 11:30. So in reality, it's not late at all. Is it late enough for a scary story? Hmm. I imagine that it probably is, for the most part, a good time as any to tell a scary story. Want to maybe have you up at night, clinging to your bed sheets, gripping them tightly, the sweat soaking through your clothing, drenching your sheets, terror, just pure terror. Yeah, that's what I'm talking about. You sit there and you think things are a joke, laugh. Meanwhile, the evil that lurks, it's watching you. So other times, it might be, I don't know, whatever the fuck it decides to manifest itself into. I've seen many things manifested. I have a story for you. And the evil one day decided it's going to infuse itself in something that many of us hold dearer to our hearts than anything. Well, this this thing this thing that we must have. We all crave it. Our stomachs, they gurgle. They gurgle for it. They they cry. They sing songs of terrible, horrible terror in your mind. It's like I don't even know what to say right now because just the thought of it, it scares me immensely. Like, I get real nervous even mentioning it because the panic that it would cause would be a panic unlike any other scene anywhere. I mean, we're talking about pandemonium, people. Panda fucking monium. Chaos on a level unseen before. You think it's a joke. I may have told this story in some shape or form before, but you haven't heard it the way I'm going to tell it now because I don't remember how I told it the first time. I just know that there was a subject that had something to do with what I'm going to talk about. Like I said, it's delicious, wonderful, tasty. Oh God, you love it. Some of us are smart enough to stay away from it because we understand the dangers, the dangers, the dangers. Millie, I had to leave because there were a few people that were expecting me to be on at 11:30. I didn't want to disappoint them because if I were to do something like that, it would be terrible. It would be terrible. It would be terrible. A lot of people were wanting to be scared or laugh and be scared at the same time. I mean, it's funny sometimes being scared. It's irrational, supposedly, fear. I don't believe it. I don't believe it at all. But the story that I was going to tell is it's a terrifying one. Imagine you walk into a store one day and You want some delicious, tasty, extra crispy, crunchy chicken wings. I mean, you've been thinking about it all day, right? Get off work. You're gonna make some chicken wings. But unfortunately, there's no chicken. Now you think to yourself that this is probably just the wrong time of the week to buy chicken. Or maybe they just didn't have any at the time. You don't make a big deal of it. But around the world, the same thing's happening to individuals such as yourself. Well, yes, Millie, they do sound good right now. But imagine that there's no chicken wings. I mean, none. Anywhere. 2 or 3 days go by, no chicken wings. You've got all this hot sauce and no chicken wings. It's fucked up. It's like having tons of packets of Kool-Aid and no sugar to put in it. Nothing to sweeten it with. Nobody wants unsweetened Kool-Aid. It's disgusting. It tastes like water with flavored coloring in it. It's not very good without the sugar. That's why ghetto Kool-Aid is the best Kool-Aid. It's extra sugary. Now, I remember about 5 days in of not having my chicken, I decided to ask the store manager, the local market, what was going on. He looked at me with a panicked look in his face. He obviously had no answer for my question. I could see that from the look on his face. I slapped him, quick, shook him. Get a hold of yourself, man. The question is, where's the chicken? What's happening with the chicken? Did you miss a shipment? Are they on strike at the chicken factories? What's going on with the motherfucking chicken? Is there a recall? Chicken wings killing people with salmonella? Is there chicken COVID now? I mean, what's wrong with the fucking chicken wings? God damn it. Well, like I said, he didn't know. He had no idea what was going on with the chicken wings. Super Bowl came. Super Bowl went. Nobody came to the fucking stadium. There was no chicken wings, no buffalo wings, no spicy hot wings, no extra crispy chicken wings, no chicken wings at the goddamn Chinese restaurant when they ask you for hot sauce. Of course I want hot sauce. You know I want hot sauce. But more than anything, I want to know, where's the goddamn chicken wings at? You understand what I'm saying? I made phone calls, many of them. I was upset. I called my local representative, the mayor, the police chief, head of the FBI. It was a fucking conspiracy. And I wanted them to get to the bottom of it. They had to get to the bottom of it. The world's fucking mad. Now, of course, they figured, we'll contain this. We'll let the vegans introduce them to that shit that they eat in the shape of a chicken wing. Try to fool them. We'll tell them only cooked chicken wings are available now. We don't have raw chicken wings. For whatever reason, we'll subliminally poison their brains. And they'll just think that there's no chicken wings except cooked chicken wings. They'll be happy with the fact that it's chicken wings. And at first this worked. They were able to fool some idiots. But I know chicken wings. God damn it. And so did most of us. Coalition was started. Information was sought. Research done. Sneaky spy sneaking around trying to find out where was the chicken wings. Now there was thighs and breast, and legs, but there were no wings. This was disturbing. I liked the little drumstick and the little flat piece. And that little tip, I cut them off separately and fried them together. But none of this existed for us. None of this existed for us. It disappeared. It disappeared, and my whole entire world started to collapse on itself. It was chicken psychosis. From one end of the world to another end of the world, people lost all hope in humanity because there were no chicken wings. People tried to make chicken wings out of legs, staple breast to them somehow. And then it was too big of a chicken wing. We tried pigeon wings. There's plenty of those, but they just weren't the same. The flavor was different, off somehow. We tried doves. We tried quail. We tried everything. There was just something about the wings of chicken that was just uncanny. Well, let me tell you what was happening with the chicken wings, folks. And this part of the story is gonna blow your fucking mind. You wanna know why it's gonna blow your mind? Because it blew my mind. I mean, literally blew my mind right off the side of my fucking head. I picked it up and I asked it, what happened? What did you see? He told me the aliens are coming down, surgically removing with lasers the wings of our chicken, simply because they know we love chicken wings. They're depriving us of them, driving us into the psychosis, so that we murder each other in blind rages over chicken wings. You know, eventually we went after the vegan chicken wing people because why trick us? Don't give us chicken wings that aren't real chicken wings. And you force us to eat this fucking sawdust shit pressed into the shape of a goddamn chicken wing. But then I knew they weren't real because they didn't have the tips. You can't bake the tips. They're full of bone. Just a little bit of meat. Just a tiny tad of meat. I was extremely fucking angry about this whole goddamn thing. I mean, the fact that aliens wasn't the government, couldn't blame them, couldn't go after them, was aliens. Well, even having the information, knowing this did not change much here on Earth because people wanted the goddamn chicken wings. Nothing was the same anywhere. Bars closed. Our economy collapsed on itself simply because there were no chicken wings. You know, people lost weight and stuff. No more big bad fried chicken breasts and fried legs just don't cut it. It has to be fucking chicken wings. And not that fake boneless wings. How's a wing boneless? Explain that to me. I mean, there's no logic in it. It's like boneless leg. How's a leg boneless? Why don't they ever tell you boneless leg? It's always boneless wings. Why? Because they're so just perfect. They're perfect. You don't need to touch the structure of the wing. But these goddamn aliens, or whatever the fuck they believe in, Mizordime aliens, whatever, damn aliens, they took the wings and left us the chicken. I mean, that's the fucked up part about it, like, right? You know what I'm saying? It's like you have some leftovers and you're waiting to eat it, and it's like some meat and rice, and then somebody eats all the meat and leaves your rice. That's how I felt about them leaving chicken with no wings. Well, I figured out a fucking way to take my ass up to space, right? Found a little spaceship, jerry-rigged some shit, learned the alien language in a matter of moments. I don't know how I did it, but, you know, for the sake of the story, let's just pretend that happened, right? You know, because we don't want to get dragged into the details of me reading and learning grammatical terms and symbols and shit from a language that I couldn't possibly understand. And since I never captured one of the aliens until later on in the story, I would not have known anything. But let's just say I have a genius mind that is interstellar, galactic, bond galacticness. I was blessed with this gift of linguistic perseverance and perfect speech among all speaking things. There we go. That explains it all. Anyhow, get the spaceship, fly it, put on some autopilot shit. It takes me back. Yeah, this is reminiscent of fucking Prometheus, so I don't want to hear you complain. I stole it. That's right. Just like Disney stole Lucas's shit and ruined it. But we're not talking about that. We're talking about me going to space to see the aliens that are cutting off the wings of chicken. I figure if they're cutting off the wings of the chickens, surgically removing them, there's a very good point or chance that they might have an overabundance of stored chicken wings. My mouth watered. I had about 10 gallons of canola oil, and some rice flour, a little salt and a little pepper. I was ready to get down with this. It's about to be the biggest chicken fry extravaganza ever. But didn't exactly go down that way. You get there on this fucking planet. Look kind of like Earth. They kind of look like us. Pretty much. Just like, not like us. It's hard to explain. I don't really want to get all dragged in. They just talk different. They dress weird. How about that? That's the difference. And they were all pale blue. There were no other colors. Just pale blue people. They walked around. They spoke their language. And they saw me. Obviously, I stood out like a sore thumb. Not because I was black, because I wasn't pale blue. But that's not the funny thing. The funny thing was, they used our chicken as toilet paper. Now you ask, how the fuck were they using chicken as toilet paper? It doesn't even make any sense. Well, they did some shit, processed it, grinded it up, and made it into toilet paper, I guess, which was better for their alien ass butts to have chicken wing toilet paper. And not the whole chicken, only the chicken wing. Something about that bone, grinding up a little bit of marrow and the meat, paper paste, pressed out, soft, really good tissue paper. Apparently salmonella does not affect them like it does us. So, we wouldn't wipe our ass with raw meat. It's just disgusting. Besides, we want to eat it. Well, I had a little bit of a talk with a few of these people because, number one, I didn't like the way they were looking at me. Obviously, being a human being, closed-minded as I am, I didn't understand it. Like, they look just like me and just blue. I can get over the fact that you guys are all pale fucking blue. Why can't you get over the fact that I'm not pale blue? Racist. Talk about racist. They were straight up racist. They didn't want to hear anything I had to say. I tried to speak my fucking piece about the goddamn chicken. They're too busy complaining with each other about how the hell I got there in the first place. And you know what? I didn't really have too much time to explain it to them. So, like I told you earlier, taking hostage, I grabbed one of the aliens, quick, in a hurry, choked him, yoked him up, threw his ass to the ground, kicked him a couple of times, jumped on his chest with the knee, did that thing like, and then, boom, dropped on him, like with the fucking Hulk Hogan shit, ripped up my shirt, The rest of them got scared. I started running. So I dragged his ass back to the spaceship. I'm asking him questions now. Hey, fuckface, the hell is the fucking deal with taking all of the goddamn chicken wings? Why not just take some chickens, breed them here, and then you can have all the chicken wings that you want? I mean, this is a long ass drive to come all the way here just to keep taking the chicken wings. Besides the simple fact that you're fucking our shit up, we're going crazy down here over chicken wings that we love to eat. And now I find out that you're using it to wipe your ass with, which is like totally disrespectful. Totally disrespectful. I mean, they are a tasty tidbit, morsel of meat, fried to perfection. You can eat them at any time of day. I have fried chicken for breakfast. It's one of the best things cold. It's almost like cold pizza. Pull it out the fridge. You don't even have to heat it up. In fact, I think frying or heating up fried chicken after it's been fried and not eaten hot is a travesty. You're never going to get the same crunch. In fact, you'll ruin it. I've done it before. I've ruined fried chicken. And I apologize to the gods of chicken. They didn't forgive me. And I guess this is why we were punished with a time and place where aliens came to our planet and took away the one thing that brought me joy. The one thing that brought me joy in my life was the chicken wings that they took away from me. And now I just want to cry about it, I see my life flashing before my eyes and no chicken wings in sight. Not much else I can say about that, except that thing about my brain is there are many different stories rattling around here. I mean, scary as not having fried chicken wings is. I know something even scarier than that. For some, it's one of the scariest things that you could possibly think of in the world. You're waiting for me to tell you, aren't you? But I'm not going to tell you. Okay, I'll tell you. You know, everybody probably has a packet of this in their kitchen. If you don't, I'm going to say that there's a very strong chance that there is something wrong with your mental well-being. You might want to check and see if you're missing a chromosome. Now, I remember when the god of Sasson came down with his magic red powder. Oh, I remember the very first time, I accidentally spilled it on some chicken and turned it red. I was scared to death. I couldn't waste the damn chicken. So, I tried to cover it with flour. The redness came through. So there's no way this chicken is going to taste right. It's going to be flavored wrong. I remember, fried the chicken. The chicken was red as the damn sands of Mars. It's like Martian chicken. It's a recipe. Don't remember if it originally came from Mars. No idea where Sasson came from. But I do know that it makes most things very delicious. Oh God, I had to have it on everything. Started splashing it on my chicken and pork chops, steaks, mashed potatoes even, vegetables. I put it in my smoothies with fruit, Sasson fruit smoothie. Savory, sweet, delicious. Oh my God, I was going crazy with it. I had to have it every day. Went to the store. Sasson. Where is the fucking Sasson? Immediately, I don't know what happened to me. It's turned me and my brain into a Sasson freak. I dance salsa in my house, searching for it, opening the cabinets repeatedly, knowing it's not there, but hoping somehow the Sasson fairy would bring it there and give it to me, because I really wanted to have the Sasson. You know, I really wanted to have the Sasson. And I didn't get to have the Sasson. And not being able to have the Sasson made me so damn angry that I pretty much just like walked around the house mad. Slammed the cabinets and shit. Went to the store and bought some more. Bought my chicken. Ate it. It was really good too. It was good. But as this music, gets all epic and shit, tries to scare you, I'm gonna eat the Cheez-Its because I have the fucking munchies. And when the next song starts, I'll tell you something a little more serious. Something that's not stupid and scary, but something that you might actually find truly scary. A story of demons and ghosts. But for that, we need a change of music. Haha. Here we go. Mute this ad because I don't want to hear it. Okay. No. I could turn the lights off, but I really don't know if I want to do that. Because this room, whatever it is, it gets really dark in here. There's like no ambient light. So, I don't want to be telling them. It just scared the shit out of me, and I'm now startled. There's like all types of shit in here, like nails and things, and I might trip and fall and then die. And then people think the ghost killed me. But in actuality, it will simply be because I'm a klutz. And in being a klutz, I fell and busted my ass. Now, this story takes place a very long time ago, when I was 16. I remember this one kind of hazy, because I used to drink a lot when I was 16. It's kind of when I started drinking, especially heavy. Like, I didn't start off half-ass. I like straight up jumped into this shit with both feet, right? I always thought I could handle it because I could drink a lot, but handling your liquor and drinking a lot of liquor are two totally different things. Anyway, I remember there's these tunnels. There's a bunch of tunnels in New Haven. We used to call ourselves the tunnel dwellers at some point in time. I remember there was a particular tunnel, it was part of a canal, an old rail line that they dug under the city. There's parts of it they didn't use for whatever reasons. Now, we're talking a long time ago, back when the rail first started. Accidents, sickness, death, plague. The types of things that, older school human beings have to deal with that we don't really think about. Anyway, we used to go down there, smoke weed, drink, freestyle, down there with a couple of people. And we decided to, go further in. Now, this is an old tunnel. So, there's no lights, inside the tunnel. The only light you have is a light from the sun. The openings. Anyway, like I said, New Haven has a very violent history. Very. A lot of dirty deeds done. Backstabbery. Blood money. The type of shit that would make a spirit stick around for a while, if it was going to stick around at all. You get what I'm saying? Anyway, what ends up happening is we're going in. It's not cold. That's my point. We get in there, about halfway through, right? We decide that's fine enough. Light the blunt, drinking a drink, chilling. Think we might have a little radio with us. I'm not sure. Either way, there was noise. I'm assuming it was a little boombox. In the tunnel, it echoes and shit. They're freestyling. I just feel this weird feeling. Like something's watching us. You ever get that feeling? Like you're sitting somewhere, you know, then all of a sudden, next thing you know, the hairs on your arm and back of your neck are standing up. You look around, make sure there's like nothing going on, you know? Like, oh shit, what is this? What is this feeling? It confuses you. Because you're like, holy shit. What if there is something watching me? Well, being that I have been drinking and smoking, I chalk it up to me having been drinking and smoking. Like, yeah, there's nothing to it, dude. You're paranoid. You're smoking, you're drinking. You know you really shouldn't be in these tunnels, but you're in them anyway. So maybe you're just like nervous. You don't want to get caught. Well, that's what I thought. I heard something. Very distinct sound. Almost like somebody throwing a rock. Or stepping on a rock. Or cracking a rock up against the wall. Sound like a rock. Then, wow, at this point in time, we're all kind of feeling a little creeped out, let's just say. But nobody wants to admit it. So we're just like, yeah, let's bounce. Gotta go get some more drinks or something. So we leave, right? When all of a sudden, something says, turn around. Turn around. What I saw standing there sent a bolt of hot ass fear right through me. And not the type of fear that paralyzes you and makes you stand there. The type of fear that makes you want to get out of the dark and into the light as quickly as possible. Now, I can't really describe to you what it is that I saw. I mean, I could describe it, but I'm not quite sure if you would visualize it the same way that I saw it. But I'll try. It looked like the cross between a man, like a minotaur, but reptilian, with rotting flesh falling off it. Now, I'm not saying that it was a ghost, a demon, or some kind of cryptid creature. I don't know what the fuck it was. All I know is when I've seen paranormal type shit and I'm afraid of it, I don't run. I usually just kind of stand there until it goes away. Because in your mind, you're like, it's not really there. It can't really be there. So you kind of will it away, I guess. But this thing didn't give me that same feeling, you know? It had very large teeth. Large. Like the type of teeth that look like it would just eviscerate you in a few bites. The way it kind of hunched over was weird because it was like its shoulder bone stuck up above its head, sort of, because the way its neck and head was downward. And its legs, the lower legs, were kind of like, you know, like a minotaur's legs. Upper body was kind of humanoid in shape. Walked on two legs, but it was short. Like maybe, let's say, 5 feet. But it was stocky. It was mad. Now, I don't know if the weed, the alcohol did it to me, but I don't think so. I ran. I ran quick as shit out of that damn thing. Screaming my fucking head off. People thought I was insane. When I got outside to the light, turned around and looked back, I saw it go back into the darkness. Just as quickly as it came out of it, it went back in. I've never been through that section of the tunnel since. He was high. It's possible. I mean, I was high, and it's very possible that I didn't see what I think I saw. But you can try it yourself if you'd like. I can tell you how to get into the tunnels. I could bring you down to where the light ends, and that's where my trip there ends. You go in there. Now, this is why I truly, honestly believe that whatever this thing is real. You can look this up. This is a very true story. The hands and legs, torso and head of a homeless man were found scattered about New Haven, near train tracks. Tunnels or near the train tracks. They can exit most parts of where the body parts were found from the tunnels in some way, shape, form, or fashion. You live in tunnels, you probably know where they all go to. Now I say murdered because whose head falls off, and hands fall off, and leg parts are found in different places. Like, who does that to himself? And how does a person do that in the downtown area above ground without drawing any attention to themselves? I mean, you're just walking around with body parts? Really? You just happen to be walking around with body parts. Downtown New Haven, less than a block and a half away from the police station, but yet nobody notices a guy with legs or a torso. It's because the person that disposed of them did not do so above ground. Now, of course, this is just a theory of mine. They never had any suspects. No witnesses, no fingerprints, no murder weapon, nothing. They're not even really sure of the cause of death, except for the fact that he's chopped into pieces. So we assume being beheaded would probably be the reason that it was done. But, they didn't give us a whole bunch of details on the condition. I mean, obviously, if you want to know the condition of something, you would have to have the man's family. And apparently, he didn't have too much family. He was a nice guy, so nobody would want to kill him. Maybe one day he wandered too close to the tunnel, and the creature that lives in it decided to come out, drag him in, where nobody can see him, where nobody can hear him, where he could do with him what he wished, which was obviously to cut him into pieces and scatter his body parts about. I mean, they never said whether they found his heart or not. I mean, I don't even know. I just know this man was cut into pieces. And that doesn't happen very often. Doesn't happen very often. Or does it? Well, there was another story, and the tunnel empties out close by this area as well. There's a couple, drug addicts, Grand Avenue, old abandoned house. They found them beaten beyond recognition. I mean, just into a pulp. As far as I know, they never solved that one either. No evidence, fingerprints, nothing. Now, men are crazy people. I mean, when I say men, I mean men as far as human beings are crazy. So it's not unfathomable to imagine that it's the possibility of a human doing something like that to another human being, possibility, right? You know, could happen. The question is, did it happen? And if it did, well, things like that. Or are we the monsters? Or is the monster inside of each one of us? Certain circumstances trigger the monster's revival. Yeah. Imagine something like that, right? It's darkness. Maybe I will turn the lights completely off. Scare the shit out of us, wouldn't it? Let's try that and see what happens, shall we? Darkness. Darkness. Gotta get up. The spirits are holding me down. Oh shit, I am so sorry, people. That was very rude of me. I apologize. On some real shit though, like I would turn the void. Thinking that they can trifle with forces that they don't understand and come away unscathed. It's like thinking you're gonna go to war and shit's gonna blow up around you and they're gonna take human life and it's not gonna affect you. It affects people. It affects them in ways that none of us know unless we're soldiers. We fought wars. And I've never fought a war against other humans. But I do remember the war against the demons. I remember it was a time they walked among us like humans. They had their places, we had ours. For the most part, we left each other alone. You know, we didn't intermingle. They didn't bother us, we didn't bother them. We ruled the day, they ruled the night. As long as we stayed within our respective areas, things remained peaceful between us. Then it changed. Changed very quickly. I don't know who started it, whether it was us or them, but it started. It started terribly wrong. It was murder. Children found their bodies in a pile. Legs and arms and heads dismembered, heaped one on top of another. You didn't even know which children belonged to which parts. Just how many of them there were. The wailing in the cities. I remember. Rounded us up. They armed us. They said, they have taken our children. We cannot allow this to go unpunished. Now the demons, of course, swore that they didn't do this. Why would they? They had no reason to. They ruled the night. But our children were piled. I mean, piled so high that if you saw them, they armed us. They sent us into these hot lava puddles, just oozing, bubbling up. That I felt my first patrol beyond the walls of our cities was one. It choked you. You tasted it. You tasted it. That's how real it was. That's how real it was. So real. The fear. It caught you right there, right in the back of your neck. A little gland shoots out this chemical. Immediately upon this hitting your mouth, the flavor and taste is one that you will never forget. I imagine it to be adrenaline. Probably exactly what it is. It hits you. Immediately you're raring to go. Where, I don't know. But you go. I went. Remember the first battle. Well, the second, if you count the massacre of the children, which wasn't a battle, it was a slaughter. We decided to pay them the same respect they paid. Burned them alive. We didn't give them the same grace. We made their parents watch. We made them watch. Then we executed them. One by one. Massacred whole villages of them. Without prejudice. We managed to drive them to the corners of the earth. Almost to extinction. They went underground. Deep underground. We had reclaimed the world as our own. Hundreds of years in the dark. We thought we had all but eradicated them. But underneath us was burning a fire like the fire in Centralia. One that would burn for years and years to come. Well, I'll tell you this. The worst thing that I remember happening was the volcano, Yellowstone Park, finally cracked. Didn't erupt, but it cracked. Deep, huge fissure opened up. It was like Earth was bleeding. It was slow. Weeped, I guess you call it. A slow oozing wound. From the weeping blood of the earth, filled with rage, hate, contempt for our kind, we had driven them from their homes. They were unstoppable. Their leader, the same lack of prejudice that we had shown them, they showed us twofold, tenfold even. What made things worse is maybe a year or two after the massacres and slaughtering of the demons, we found out that it was a human that did it. Religious nut. I forget what his name was. All of us tried to, anyway. But he hated demons. He knew that they would never cross the rules. And he knew we, for all true women, have pushed, given a reason. One of the wonderful things about being a human being. Ourselves. Well, the slaughter of humankind was so almost complete that we were driven. They scorched it out of revenge. being in the dark recesses of the hot earth had changed the demons. They couldn't see during the day anymore. The light was too much for their eyes. Only at night they would come out. That's why they put us in caves. See, we thought what we were doing were bringing ourselves to the slaughter. Whole colonies of us would disappear. Nothing left behind. No evidence. No blood. Just gone. Obviously, we knew who the culprits were. At this point, we had no choice but to work together. The enemy was clear. We had created that enemy. We fostered that enemy's will to destroy us through our ignorance. We paid for it dearly. I was frightened. I tried to reason with people. Told them, we need to find a way to rebuild ourselves. There were demons that agreed that the wholesale slaughter of humans was gone long enough. That there was time to repair the rift between us. But they were few and far in between. Most hated us. They thought we were just evil creatures. And we did. Over our own ignorance. Well, the fucked up thing about it is, people, that story is not true at all. And if it was, then I probably wouldn't be sitting here in front of you. I'd be off fighting demons somewhere, slaying them with my sword of truth. Chop, chop. But no, it's not what I'm here to talk about now. Enough of the scary. Right? You know, it's been dark. It's scary. Now, I think I'm going to switch the tone up here. There's a little commercial break. Go ahead and get yourself some refreshments. And the next story is not going to be scary. It's going to be stupid. Retarded. I'm not sure if I'm allowed to say the word retarded. But, I said it anyway. Which way am I supposed to look to see what I'm looking for? I don't even know anymore. It's confusing. I look left, I look right, I look right, and I look left. Jack. He worked hard, Jack. Day in, day out. Strong-willed, prideful man. Believed in taking care of his family. There's nothing more that he loved than to take care of his family. He loved his wife and children. 6 kids he had. Loved his wife as much as he did the day he met her. He worked hard every day. He came home. Good old Jack. Well, one day, everything that... Well, it wasn't so much taken from him as much as his girlfriend wife, not girlfriend. Although his girlfriend did leave him, he was cheating on his wife. And his wife left him. Or wait, was she taken away from him? Oh no, see, this is what happened, right? She found out that he was fucking the other chick, right? So then she got mad, took the 6 kids, went to her mom's down in Virginia. Now, her mom's never knew the whole working thing was just an act. She used to tell her daughter, I don't like that motherfucker. Gets on my damn nerves. Thinks too highly of himself. And he did. Like I said, he was prideful. He was God's gift to the world. When he lost his children and wife for his stupidity and his vanity, he lost it. He had nothing else to live for. Blew his brains out. It's kind of the size of a tennis ball. Smacked it off. Kid wasn't looking. The brain replaced a scoop of strawberry ice cream, and the little boy took a big lick. He realized immediately that it wasn't strawberry ice cream he was licking on. He saw the piece of hunk, glob of human. Immediately he panicked. He panicked. Screamed and yelled in shock and terror. My ice cream is on the fucking concrete! Damn it! He didn't give 2 shits about the fact that the guy's brain was in his fucking shit. He didn't realize that by licking it, he infected himself. He infected himself with this man's essence, Jack. In effect, took over the kid's body. It's weird. Don't ask me how it happened, because I'm making this shit up as I go. So that's what happened. Kid licked the brain. The brain had evil Jack stuff in it. And somehow, getting into the kid, he took over the kid's body. He possessed him. Replaced him. Brain grew into his brain and replaced his brain cells with Jack's old brain cells. And then Jack was born anew as a little guy, and nobody knew who he was. Right? They didn't know he was Jack. Now, this kid was a spoiled, rotten little asshole. Family didn't like him too much. So, Jack fit in quite well. It's almost like a perfect transition for him. You know what I'm saying? He didn't have to act nice. He'd just be a dick like he usually was all goddamn day, talking shit to people. And people were just like, yeah, fuck you, whatever. We'll pretend we like you, but we don't. Right at home he was. Well, he befriended his children, which is kind of fucked up, because he bullied them and shit. Smacked them around. From a parent's point of view, that's what it looks like. The mom didn't realize that this is her ex-husband, soon-to-be ex-husband? Estranged husband. Well, late, dead husband. Because he did blow his brains out, so they knew about that shit. It's a newspaper. It's a funeral. But all this time, he's been in the void. Sean. Now, after he sees this, it was really him, because he was a dick. Get back at her for, taking away the things that matter to me. You were thinking he's probably thinking about his kids. No. He was okay with her taking the fucking brats. He didn't like them much anyway. Like I told you, he's a dick. Narcissistic asshole. Anyway. She's watching this little douchebag fucking run around bullying her 6 kids. Husband's dead. Blew his brains out, remember? He's the one running around with him. She notices something about this little kid. Something that makes her shiver. She can tell. She can sense that this child is not a child after all. Well, I mean, he looks like a kid because he did take over a kid's body and shit, so technically he is a kid. I mean, one thing different is, I guess his brain, right? Because the little kid licked the brain in the ice cream cone. The brain had parasites in it that took over the other kid's brain, made him into Jack. Right? We established that already. Alright, now, here's the thing. Jack, as a kid, is still such a pretentious asshole that the wife is picking up on the shit. She knows no kid is that type of an asshole. You know, these new age kids aren't the same type of assholes as old school assholes. It's a special kind of asshole. It's aged differently. It has a distinct flavor. Taste. It's a history test wrapped up in an ass. It's not the analogy I was looking for, but it's the one that I had at the time. So I'm just gonna run with it. Well, the wife being the smart cookie she is, and noticing that this man is definitely, child is definitely acting like a man that she knows. She decides to try something. You know, narcissists can't help themselves. Well, it's on their own name. So, she yelled Jack. Or she asked someone to yell Jack. Yeah, that's what she did. She asked someone to do it. No, she did it. I mean, the dude's there already, and it's not like him knowing that she knows that he's who he is going to change anything. I mean, at the end of the day, he's in the kid's body. So, well, I'll tell you what happens. She yells Jack. He turns, briefly, halfway through, remembering that he's not Jack anymore. He's little David. He's supposed to be little David. Well, the half turn was all the wife needed. You wanna know what she did? Sad, because, you know, we would normally not say to do things like this. But she felt she had no choice. She kidnapped little David, Jack, from the park, tied him up, threw him in the trunk, like you would a small possessed thing. She overpowered me easy. It wasn't fucking fun. It's not like whether she's possessed by a man or not gonna give a little child's body superhuman man strength. They can't handle it. Their bones aren't built for that, and their muscles just don't work that way. But you know, whatever, leave what you want. I'm telling you the way my story happened. In my story, little kid got tied up, burlap bag put over his head. He got tossed into a trunk. She closed the door. She drove for miles out to her new cabin she had bought with Jack's insurance money. Well, actually, she didn't get the insurance money because he fucking blew his brains out. So, what she ended up getting was a whole lot of headaches. So, like the kind of headache you get when you listen to music way, way, way too loud and some noise cancellation headphones. Here's what's strange. I've gone off on a tangent. I can't remember what I was talking about. The demons have wiped it from my mind. No, we were done with that story, weren't we? I think so. Taken to the cabin. Woods that she bought with money that she just had stashed somewhere. Because, like I said, you know, he killed himself, so she's not going to get any insurance money from that. You don't get insurance money for suicides. At least I don't think you do. Else, I think most people would just be faking their deaths all day. Oh no, they probably just kill themselves for their family. I mean, be smart, people. Go hire somebody to do it for you. The only thing is you have to pay them up front. And if, like, it's found out that you did that, then your family is fucked. Oh shit. I mean, either way. Oh shit, I'm dropping shit all over the place. I just jump scared the fuck out of somebody. Sorry. I hope that wasn't the case. But if I did jump scare you, as long as you didn't have a heart attack, I guess everything is okay, right? Right. That one talk. A lot of craziness and nonsense. You know, it's like, what are you doing, people? But, you know, there's not much that I can tell people about it because I don't really know much. It was stolen. The recipe taken away. You know, that was what happened when she found out that Jack was in this kid, you know. She couldn't have that. She beat him. After she took him out the trunk. She beat him up. Like you would beat a badass kid. And he was bad, so she beat the shit out of him. I mean, she beat him something terrible. Of course, the kids see this, and it freaks them the fuck out because they're watching their mom, who they think is sane, beat the crap out of this kid, which they kind of didn't care about because, like I said, he was bullying them anyway, so they kind of didn't care, but at the same token, they're looking at their mom beat the shit out of the kid. Let's just think about that. She's, like, beating the shit out of a kid. Let that sink in for a minute. Just imagine watching a grown woman pummel the fuck out of an 8-year-old that's tied up. Now, you know, she takes the gag or burlap. No, she takes the burlap sack off his head first. Then she takes the gag out of his mouth. She says, "You sick son of a bitch." Like, you can't just, like, not be a douche. You can't help yourself. You know, you blow your fucking brains out. You give us the relief and satisfaction of thinking that you're dead. And then you pull this shit. Of course, he tries to convince her that he's little David, which she's not accepting it. She is definitely not letting this kid go now. That even if he wasn't Jack, let's think about what she just did. She kidnapped some person's child, threw him in a trunk, and is now beating the living shit out of him. I mean, she gets extreme with it, you know? I mean, she's not just beating this kid, she's torturing him. She's fucking lighting cigarettes and putting them out on his arms, yelling at him, telling me, thinking that his wife will be sensible. And eventually she'll realize that she is pummeling a child. And Jack was right. She did realize that she was pummeling a child. Unfortunate thing for Mr. Jack there is this story is not going to end in the way that you think it's going to end. See, Jack, being the narcissist that he is, didn't think about one thing. His wife, or ex-wife, was just pummeling the shit out of an 8-year-old kid that she kidnapped from the park. She had a huge dilemma. I'm imagining you can guess, right? What that dilemma is. Not. I'll spell it out for you. Our wonderful friend, well, you know what? She realized that maybe this isn't Jack. I've tortured this kid, beat him, spit on him, made him drink his own pee, fed him his own shit. He shit a lot, scared. Well, Jack, of course, was thinking that she was just gonna let him go. Well, once again, Jack's vanity would cost him his entire family. Except this time, he'd get to die with his family. And there I go again, knocking shit up. I'm trying to get something to drink. Anyway, jackass, as he was, because he's a jackass, had convinced her so well that he wasn't who he said he was. And he was indeed this child. He saw a look in her face. The look in her face as he looked at him and the children was terrible. What she did next served him right. She gathered her children and explained to her kids that the little child there was really a monster. And Mommy had to beat the monster up. The children were young children, ages 1 to 6. Her and Jack used to get it on, they kept it busy. They wanted to have all their kids close together so that they could, do the stuff that kids do together. Yes, that's what they did. And what ended up happening was that the look on her face, the look like this, one of despair. She knew what she had to do. He didn't know what she was capable of doing. After she explained to the children about the monster, she reached into her purse, pulled out a .22 caliber revolver, 6 shots. She told the children to go to bed early. As they turned to walk away, she walked on, shot the 6-year-old in the back of the head. It was a muffled pop. The children were too busy running up the stairs to notice that their oldest sibling had dropped to the ground. So they continued to play. Up the stairs they went. The 5-year-old was next. Shot him in the face as he turned around to greet her at the stairs. Kids still jumping around in their beds, not hearing the mother executing them one by one. Jack, tied up, screaming. Well, gagged, so he can't really scream, but he can make that noise that people make when they have a gag in their mouth. Well, he was torn. Little did he know he'd have his cake, and he'd eat it too. He'd eat every last bit of it. Well, after she had successfully murdered 5 of the 6 children, She came back downstairs with the last one. She brought the young one over to see the bloody, beaten body of this little David character. Well, it's when the tables turned. This is why I say there's a twist to the story. Well, Jack thought that he had tricked her to murdering the children. He felt terrible. Oh, having to watch the baby bludgeoned to death in front of him. 1-year-old, skull shattered. Ugh. The mother smiling as she did it this time, right in front of him. She bent over to kiss Jack on the forehead. She says to him, she whispers in his ear, "I never liked you or the kids anyway. How does that feel? See, you thought that you tricked me into believing that I had to kill you. Well, did you know I flipped the tables on you? Now I'm not going to kill you, Jack. I'm going to let you live and suffer with this knowledge." She blew her brains out. Some of it got in his mouth, and then she turned into him, and somehow he disappeared. Another ghost story that I remember. This one was up here in a town called Hopkinton. It's a fair up there, and when you work at fairs and things, you kind of travel around a lot. And rather than be the carny types who would sleep in like pickup trucks and little pop-up campers, the people that we happened to be living with in Epsom at the time. Oh, and there's a story about Epsom. Let me tell you that one. That one. Oh yes, that one is scary. Let me tell you a little bit about Epsom, New Hampshire, folks. It's a very, very, very small town. So small, in fact, that you won't find it on a map. It's part of Chichester County, if I remember correctly. One of like 4 towns that make up Chichester County. There's no full-time police. Actually, no, there's one full-time police officer. The other one's part-time, so they have 2. That's how small they are. Their fire department is volunteer. There is no mayor or governor. Trash is taken care of on their own. They have something called the rescue squad, which is people who are trained to do CPR and shit, and they drive around with little red lights on their car. You're saying, "Oh no, that's not true, I don't believe you." Once again, I tell you to check these facts for yourself. These places I speak of exist, and I have lived there. There's employment records. Check them out if you don't believe me. Anyway, the other thing that must be mentioned is that this story about Epsom is scary because of 2 things. A, it really did happen. B, in a place where lights are somewhat illegal, like light pollution, they actually, people, the town people, or basically those who own most of the land there, kind of dictate what everybody else does. It's kind of weird. Anyhow, though, there's a little old lady who used to live there, across the street. Now, let me explain something to you about houses in Epsom. You can look out any door, and you do not see a house. You see land. If you do see a house, it's probably a good 4 or 5 or 6 acres away. No. They're not on top of each other. You cannot see into someone else's house unless you have binoculars or some shit. There's wells. No streetlights, no sidewalks. No reason for anybody to go here unless they live here. You have a traffic circle, McDonald's, Wendy's, Burger King, I think. You know, a couple of bars, shitty pizza place. Ah, I miss the pizza. New Haven. Anyway, back to what I was saying about the ghost. Now, across the street and down the way a little bit, tucked behind trees, over around brush, and stones that were set into the driveway to keep cars from parking in there, was a house. I believe it was a little pale green house. You know, 1-story job. The story goes like this. The true story part of it, anyway. Or the part that's believable. The little old lady lived there alone. She kept to herself. And people respected that. Didn't try to be her friend. Didn't try to find out what she was doing. Pretty much left her alone. So much so that when her old ass died, nobody had any idea. It's said that she, sitting in the chair, you know, like old people do, their favorite chair, their favorite place to sit down and get old. Well, she sat there and she died. And literally, the only reason anyone figured it out, I believe she had no kids either. I think she was like one of those people who never had children. Probably because she couldn't. Husband may have died years ago after treating her like crap because she couldn't have kids. But maybe she had money or something, right? Anyway, she died in the chair, and maybe 3, 4, 5, or 6 weeks went by before anybody realized that there was a problem. The lawn wasn't being taken care of, mail piling up, newspapers overflowing. Excuse me. Yeah, that's all the stuff that happened. No, I'm just joking. That's not what happened. She died in the chair, right? And because she had, been in the chair for like 6 weeks, she literally kind of like melted or decomposed into the chair. Now, there were no heirs. She owned the property in New Hampshire. It's live free to die, so they couldn't do anything to the property. She owned it, like, outright. It was hers. Her family, or her name, or whoever's name was. Either way, the house stays. Because people don't want to get near it. You look at it from a distance. I remember one time when I was walking past it, and I kept wondering why nobody walked on that side of the street near this section of road. Because of the way the curve went, it would be easier to be seen from that side of the street. But, that's not what we did. Well, not what I did anyway. I walked up that side and read this house yet. So, the first day I'm walking by there, I told them, the family that we're staying with, hey, somebody should go check on the old lady over there because her yard is completely, overgrown. Blocking the driveway for the car there. I mean, how's she supposed to get out? Blah, 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 blah. Just talking on my ass. So like I said, I don't know the story behind this lady. I have no idea. So I'm like, holy shit. What am I gonna do? I see this old lady and I feel sorry. So I tell them about the old lady I see. And they laugh, right? They laugh at me. They're like, oh, there's no old lady, blah, blah, blah. I'm like, yeah, there is an old lady. I saw the old lady. I think you guys should go check on her because blah, blah, blah. The house looks decrepit. They said, the only old lady that was in that house died about 2 years ago. I'm like, nah, it's not possible. But apparently it was. Now, I'm going to spend the rest of this night, my friends, trying to upload this extra high-def footage. And I have a very strong feeling that nothing is going to come of it. That upsets me because, well, I really wanted you guys to see it. But I have learned my lesson. Don't record it on 1440. Record it on 720. Makes more sense. It's more transferable. So I want to say to all of you that join me, chili heads and hot sauce freaks alike, any of the flipsiders who popped over and flipped the bird, well, I thank you. For those who come and never say anything, I thank you as well. Which is fine. If it has some purpose other than the ramblings of a crazy man in a shed, then I guess we're all okay. Saturday now, folks. Early morning. You should all enjoy your nights, mornings. And I am about to do the same. Thanks for hanging out with your boy Omen G. Tomorrow, I am going back to the cemetery, so I hope that you all will join me afterwards for my investigative report on Valley Cemetery. But as always, everyone, no matter what in the world may happen, there is no order without chaos.